Hey, what's going on guys? James here and welcome back to another video. Today's episode is going to be really interesting. I can't wait to show you guys some of the watches. So in today's episode of What's in the Store, there's going to be some really cool watches, 3 vintage watches and 2 more modern watches, both with boxes, one with box and papers. There's a Sinn 103, a limited edition Seiko chronograph automatic, limited to 500 pieces, super cool. In the vintage watches we have a H.Samuels watch, which I've never seen before, and it is super minty. It looks really good. And there's a Smith's and a couple of other watches. So I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you do, be sure to leave a like. Don't forget to follow on Instagram as well, because I post daily over there, and I'm walking at the same time as talking. I'm very out of breath. I need to get back to the gym. Anyway, enjoy today's episode. Let's get right into this awesome episode with probably the heaviest hitter, in my opinion, in this episode, which is the Seiko BRIGHTZ SDGZ013. Now, as you can see, this absolutely incredibly gorgeous watch is an automatic chronograph from Seiko. Now, it's not a Grand Seiko, but in my opinion, it's built to the exact same quality as Grand Seiko. It's just absolutely insane. Let's start the chronograph whilst we're talking about this awesome watch. So as I said, it's the SDGZ013. Now, for those of you in the know, this is the 50th anniversary edition. Super cool and limited to only 500 pieces, and the number we have right here is number 333 of 500, which is pretty damn cool. You can see the movement ticking away right there, and it says the 50th anniversary. Super cool. And the movement in here is the 8R48 chronograph. Now, it's all titanium, so the case and the bracelet is all titanium. For those of you who know me, I am not the biggest fan of titanium, I have to admit, but that being said, the weight of this one is quite nice. So it's still incredibly light, but you're getting that weight of the movement in the top, and it is quite a thick watch. So it really does sit nicely on the wrist, and it gives some wrist presence without being too much or too little, which is usually the case with titanium watches. And having handled and sold and worn for quite a while a Seiko, Grand Seiko Snowflake, the ones where it said Seiko and then Grand Seiko, I can say definitely the build quality of this is very good and very close to Grand Seiko. Now, this one, as I said, is for sale. Everything you see here is for sale on the store. This one comes with the box and the accessories, which is this beautiful shiny leather strap with the Seiko buckle right there. This strap, I don't think has ever been worn. It's just been in the box, just sitting there. So basically an unworn leather strap, which is super nice. And the bracelet has barely any wear. You can see every now and again there's like a few tiny little hairline scratches. One thing I will mention, and it's photographed, there is a slight nick in the crystal just around between 12 and 1 o'clock. Very small, but you can't feel it, and I'm not too sure how that happened, but you can't feel it or anything like that. You can barely see it as well, to be honest. But as always, being 100% honest, that is right there, and there's a slight ding just there as well. Again, you can't really feel it. I'm not too sure how that happened, but just 100% honesty. So it's all photographed. Go have a look at the photos. Truly a beautiful watch, and I think for the price, the amount of watch you're getting, and the fact that there was only 500 made. And just before we move on to the next watch, I forgot to do the wrist. So showing it on the wrist, I have a 6 3/4 inch wrist, and this is the full bracelet, so I think it should fit most wrists. You know, it can fully spin around on my wrist. So yeah, the dimensions of this are 42mm case size, although everywhere listed as 41.9, but you know, it's basically 42mm. 15mm thick, so it is quite thick, but it still wears very well, especially with the way they've shaped the case and how the angles sort of come down. It's really cool. It's like a 3-step case. 49mm lug to lug, so it does wear quite long, but again, the shape of them lugs just make it slope straight down the wrist. And it has 20mm lugs, so most straps will go on this. I think a really nice sort of vintage brown would go very well with this, or the black leather that comes with it, or just on the bracelet as is, and there it is spinning around. So there we go, let's move on to the next watch. And next up is a watch from a brand that I've wanted to actually sell on the store and I've wanted to get my hands on, and more specifically it's the exact watch, which is the Sinn 103. Now this one is the 103 ST. The specific reference is 130.031, and it comes on the Sinn leather strap, which is super nice, and again barely worn. Like you can see, there's a very slight dent and like no wear to the strap at all. Super cool. But this one is really nice. I love how clean this is, and it comes with the huge domed acrylic crystal, which does have a few hairline scratches when I move it into the light, you can see, but nothing major at all. And if I didn't do that, you probably wouldn't even notice. But again, full honesty, the loom on this is amazing. Even the pip right there on the bezel's loomed. It's a friction bezel, so it does spin, which I think is super cool. Very, very sort of vintage inspired. This one does come with a full box and papers, so go check that out. And the movement inside here is the world-renowned Valjoux 7750. Really cool movement. It does mean the case is a little bit thick, but again, it can be pulled off because the case size and just the overall design and shape of this watch is really nice. And I love the way they've done the hands on the minute and the hour counter. Super cool. And it says automatique on there, day date as well, little pushers. The crown is a screw down crown, which is nice, signed. Overall condition, I would say, is very, very good. Again, just a few hairline scratches on the case, but nothing major at all. Go have a look on the website for the full pictures. You know, you can zoom in, take a closer look. So this is the watch on my 6 3/4 inch wrist. It is a very, very nice watch. The lugs are quite straight, which means it does wear quite large, but it can still be pulled off. Like if you look at it on my wrist, it definitely looks big, but I think I can pull that off. So the case size of this one is 41 millimeters. It has a thickness of 16 millimeters. A lug-to-lug size of 47 millimeters and lugs of 20. So again, most straps will fit on this. Although it looks really classic on this black with white stitching. And it's a very thick strap as well. It's really nice. It will take a little bit of time to break in, but once it does, it'll be super, super comfortable. And again, that domed crystal, I just can't get over how cool that is. Oh, I love domed acrylic crystals. You really can't go wrong. Okay, that is the 2 modern watches from the store done. Now we're moving on to 3 vintage ones. Right here, what we have is a Smith's Deluxe, a really, really cool watch dating back to, I believe, the 1950s, based purely on the movement and case size. It was made in England, as stated at the bottom, if my focus will go. There we go, made in England, a really, really nice dial. Gold applied hands, indices, sorry, and gold hands, which just play with the light really, really well. And overall, the condition is really nice considering its age. You know, there's no sort of serious big dings or anything like that. Really, really nice. Lovely watch. And Smiths are a very interesting company as well. Do a little bit of research, you'd be quite amazed. They're made in their English brand, and they have some really cool watches from the same era as this one. And they're the Smith's Deluxe, but with the screw case backs, and they go for about 200 more than this one. So you can get yourself a pretty good bargain with this because they look identical. The only difference is the screw down case back, and I think there might be a few other differences maybe with the movement, but go check that out. And whilst we're talking about movement, let me pop this open and show you that movement, because I was amazed. There's nothing quite like the sound of a case back popping off. So this is the case back. It says Denny Steel 9601. 12327, made in England. That's what the case back says. And let me show you the movement. Here it is. I think this is a really beautiful movement, and the way it's been decorated is just amazing. It even has polished edges, and all this to come out of a watch from this era, I think, is really impressive. A 15 jewel manual wound movement. Right there at the bottom it says C8818, and on the side here it says 601. Really, really cool watch. And again, that finishing, I'm quite amazed. What do you guys think of that finishing for a watch of this era, this age, and this price? Okay, now let's show it on the wrist. So for those of you that aren't afraid of a smaller watch, I'm not. I freaking love smaller watches. I think they're super cool. This one has a case size of 31 millimeters, a thickness of 10, so very, very thin, 38 millimeters lug to lug, and 16 millimeter lugs. And right now it's on this birch leather strap, which just complements it very, very well. I think it looks really good on the wrist. and I think you would not be disappointed at all, so go pick this up. Next up is another interesting watch from H.Samuels, which for those of you who are not aware, H.Samuels is a jewelers here in the UK that's been going for quite a while. It's part of the same family as Ernest Jones, so you know, pretty cool that they used to make watches. Now this one does date back again to the 1950s based on the overall design and the size and everything like that, but this one is called the Climax. It's the H.Samuels, and it says Manchester on the dial as well, which is super cool. The hands are blued, and they just they work so damn well, and the price of this one again I think is a hell of a lot of watch for the price. Gold indices, which just look amazing. Let me get the focus. Come on, focus. There we are. Really nice watch, and it's a cushion shape as well, which just plays really well on the wrist, and I'll show you that in just a second. So here it is on the wrist. It's got a 15 jewel manual wound movement, which is photographed on the website, so go check it out. It's a 30mm case size, which is quite small, but because of the cushion shape it wears a lot bigger. It's 12mm thick. It has 37mm lug to lug and 16mm fixed lug. So right now it's on this pearl-on strap. You could sort of put whatever you want on it. I think this looks pretty cool, especially with the blued hands, and when that hits the light just right, it really looks great. And to finish off this episode, we have one from one of my personal favorite brands, Oris. And as you can see, I have an Oris pocket watch right here as well. So I'm a big fan of Oris, and this one is no exception. Super beautiful. Look at that white dial, really crisp, really thick gold hands and indices as well. Sub-seconds down there at the bottom. Very clean. Super nice. This one dates back late 60s, early 70s. It's a gold plated with a hallmark which is photographed on the website, and you can see it right there. I think it's 8 microns, and it says on the case back as well, top gold plated. Really nice watch. It's running the caliber, or the KIF as they call it, 671, which is one of Oris's calibers, 7 jewel manual wound movement. And for the dimensions, we have 30mm right here, a thickness of 9, so super thin. Also it has drilled lug holes, so you can swap out the straps nice and easy. 40mm lug to lug and 18mm lugs, so a bit more of an easier watch to wear. And this is the watch on my 6 3/4 inch wrist. Very clean, very classic looking, especially with the yellow gold plating and the matching yellow gold on the dial, and that really clean white dial makes for a perfect little dress watch, and especially at the price, can't go wrong. So go check out all the watches on the store. The personal favorite of mine for this episode has got to be the Seiko, and I think in all honesty it will be everyone's personal favorite for this episode as well. Let me know down in the description, or in the comments, sorry, what you think of this week's watches. So thank you all very much for watching, and I hope to see you all in the next one. Take care and peace out.